and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. So today we will be doing our grade 4 English lesson on helping verbs. So we're going to be doing our grade 4 English lesson on helping verbs. And before we start, we are going to log in to aplusstudents.ca. So we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. With our username as well as with our password. So once you've logged into aplusstudents.ca with your username as well as your password, and then you're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 4. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of helping verbs. All right. So the chapter that we are focusing on today is helping verbs. Our subject is English language arts. And the grade that we are focusing on is grade 4. And the lesson that we will be doing under the chapter of helping verb is to identify the main verb as well as the helping verb. So we're going to identify the main verb and helping verbs. And our chapter is helping verbs. So yes, we are doing helping verbs today, where we will be identifying the main verb and we will be identifying the helping verb. And we are doing our lesson on A plus student, our tutorial lesson on A plus students.ca. So we'll be doing our tutorial lesson on A plus students.ca. So if you want to go back, recap, go over certain things, you can even go back to A plus students.ca. All right, so now we're going to start with our lesson, right? The main verb as well as the helping verb. So before we go over what a helping verb is, right? We need to first know the main verb, right? And remember, a verb is basically an action, it's a doing word, right? So the main verb within a sentence, it shows what the subject does or what the subject is, right? So that is the main verb within a sentence. Remember, in a sentence, to show that it is a complete sentence, then it has a noun and it has a verb. So the sentence must have a noun, must have a verb, it must have a subject, right? Either person or thing that they are talking about, And it must have a verb that shows what that person or thing does within a sentence. So that is the main verb. A main verb within a sentence, it will show us what the subject does. And then we have a helping verb, right? So the main verb shows us what the subject does or is. And then we have a helping verb, right? And a helping verb, it helps the main verb to show the action or to make a statement. We have a helping verb, and the helping verb, it helps the main verb to show the action or to even make a statement. And when it comes to a helping verb, right, then there are certain words that basically shows or that indicates that it is helping the main verb, right? And the helping verb, like, or let's say the words or the common helping verbs are have. So if you have a word like have in front of a main verb, then it's a helping verb. Has, had, is, are, am, was, were, and will. These are helping verbs. So these words that I just mentioned, which is have, has, had, is, are, am, was, were, and will, they are helping verbs. Right? So they basically they help the main verb. When you see these words, right, or when we add these words in front of a main verb, then it means that it helps the main verb to show an action or to make a statement. So basically these words, so the words which is also is, are, am, was, and were, right? That is from the helping verbs. So the helping verbs is, are, am, was, and were, they can be used with a main verb. So they can use with the main verb that ends with ing, like watching, which means that is watching, are watching, am watching, was watching, or were watching. And these words, let's say, for example, let's say the verbs or the helping verbs, it will either be used we're referring to a singular, sorry, when we're using the different tenses, sorry, whether it's either in the present tense, the past tense, or in the future tense. For example, if we say is, right? He is watching like football. He is watching football. Then it means that he is doing it now, right? They are, which refer to more than one person that is doing something. They are playing outside, which means that they are playing outside now. It is in the present tense. If we use this word am, and we can maybe use it as in, I am going to the shop. So going is our main verb, am is the helping verb. That is something that I'm doing now. If we use the word was or were, this shows in the past tense. Was singular in the past tense, plural were in the past tense. So we can say he was jumping over the fence. Or if we refer to were, then we can say they were walking to school. So these words, which is, are, am, was, and were, which I've just explained and I made an example of each, it can be used with a main verb which ends in ing. And it either tells us the verb that is in the past tense, and it tells us about an action that already happened. And if we maybe use words like will, if we use words like will in front of our main verb, right? So will be the helping verb that is used to show the action in the future. She will go to school. She will go to the shop. She will or he will watch football, which means that it's something that they must do in the future, or an action or shows action within the future. All right, so if we look at a few examples, right, where we will identify the main verb and we will identify the helping verb, right? If we look at the sentence in front of us, the first one says, I am thinking of joining the group. I am thinking of joining the group. What is the main verb? Can you identify the main verb within this, let's say this the sentence? I am thinking of joining the group. Can you identify the main verb within that sentence? All right, so if we identify the main verb, I'm going to use blue for the main verb, and I'm going to use red for the helping verb. So if we identify the main verb, then yes, the main verb is thinking. I'm going to circle thinking. Something that you're doing, right? No, thinking is correct. Right? So thinking is something that you're doing, right? So if thinking is our main verb, let's put the main verb. And then what is the helping verb within that sentence? What is the helping verb within that sentence? The helping verb. So if thinking is our main verb, then we can identify the helping verb. Remember, the helping verb is the word or the verb that is just in front of the main verb. So basically, the helping verb is am. Am. Right? So I am thinking. So this is the helping verb. So am is the helping verb. If we go back to, let's go back to over here. So here, let me underline it. So here we have a few common examples of helping verbs. So the helping verbs are, let's go to these ones. Is, are, am, was, were, right? So they are mainly used with the main verb that ends in ing. Like our word was thinking, for example, right? So it means that Am is the word that was used in front of that main verb, which was thinking. So we also have other helping verbs, which is have, has, had, right? So have, has, had, is, are, am, was, and were. These are helping verbs that are used with the main verbs, right? So basically, am is our helping verb, and then we have thinking, which is our main verb. So am is basically helping the main verb to show action. All right. So now if we look at the second one, question number 2, sorry, sentence 2. Yesterday we were talking about the group. So yesterday we were talking about the group. Can you identify the main verb within the sentence? The main verb. So we need to identify the main verb within the sentence. All right, so yes, if we identify the main verb, then we will say it is talking. Something that is being done. It's a verb. This is the main verb, right? Talking. It's the action that is being done. And if we identify the helping verb that helps the main verb to show action, then what will be the helping verb? Yesterday, we were talking about this group. So the helping verb. Yes, so then the helping verb will be were, right? So were is our helping verb. So were is a helping verb that helps the main verb to show the action. So well done. The next one. When I tell my friends, I am sure they will help too. So when I tell my friends, I am sure they will help too. What is the main verb within the sentence? Main verb. All right, tell. Okay, so tell is basically the main verb. But now, if tell can be can be a verb, but also it is actually help, right? So help is the main verb in the sentence. So tell is also it's also a verb, but help is the main verb within that sentence. So if help is the main verb, then what is the helping verb within that sentence? Then what is the helping verb that helps the main verb to show action? Yes, so basically will is the helping verb that will show the action. And if we say will help, right, then it means that will, they specifically said will is the helping verb that we put in front of the main verb to show the specific tense, and usually it shows a tense that will happen in the future. All right, so I'm going to explain again, right? Remember, we have a main verb. Our main verb, it shows action. A verb is a doing word, right? It's an action. So the main verb within a sentence, right? It basically shows the action that takes place within a sentence. So your action can either be watching, it can be playing, it can be jumping, it can be running, right? That is our main verb. Then with our main verb, we have a helping verb. And the helping verb within a sentence, it helps the main verb to show the action that takes place. And usually it shows the action that takes place either in the present tense, in the past tense, or in the future tense. So yes, a verb is something that someone is doing. It's a doing word. And the helping verb it basically just tells us when the person does something. It's either in the present tense, in the past tense, or in the future tense. So for example, if we maybe say that the person is doing an action in the present tense, then we'll maybe use words like is watching, because it's something that the person is doing now. Are watching, doing now. I am playing, I'm doing it now. As soon as I want to make mention or I want to show the action that took place in the past, then I can maybe say, the boy was playing PlayStation. But the word was is the helping verb. So was is the helping verb that helps the main verb to show the action that's taking place, and specifically, let's say in the past. If we put the word will in front of the main verb, right? I will go to the store. Then the word will, it will show the action that's taking place, or it shows the action that will take place in the future, right? So that is basically how we can identify main verbs in a sentence. It's the verb that shows the person doing something. And the helping verb, it basically shows us, or it helps the main verb to show the specific action, and usually either in the present tense, in the past tense, or in the future tense. So I really hope that is more clearer. Should I explain again? All right, so now let's go to aplusstudents.ca. And our lesson that we are focusing on is to identify main verbs and helping verbs. All right, so it's clear. Thank you. Okay, so once again, a helping verb, right? To make it more clear, a helping verb, it comes before a main verb. And that is why I was showing sentences and I specifically asked to identify the main verb as well as the helping verb. And I first wanted you to identify the main verb because it's more easy to identify the main verb, the action that someone is doing. And then we identify the helping verb that basically helps the main verb to show the action, because a helping verb comes before a main verb. So the helping verb comes before the main verb, and it helps the main verb to show action. And an example, right? An example of this is not going to be both main verb as well as helping verb, right? So I am resting. So I am resting. So the word am and resting is our helping verb as well as our main verb. So the helping verb is am, and the main verb is resting. So this word am, it helps the main verb resting to show the specific action that is taking place. And if we identify certain or the most common helping verbs, right? Then the most common helping verbs are words like am, are, is, was, were, has, have, had, and will. These are our common helping verbs, and these are the words, right, that helps the main verb to show action, and this usually comes before the main verb. And the helping verb, it always goes before the main verb, yes, but the two verbs are not always next to each other. So sometimes the verb doesn't necessarily have to be next to each other, like, for example, am resting. So if we look at the sentence which says, I am finally resting, right? Then here we have our helping verb, and resting is our main verb. Then we have finally. This word finally, it basically tells us about the word resting. It describes the resting, right? But still, here we have our helping verb, which is am, and our main verb, which is resting. All right. So now we're going to do an activity, right? We are going to select the helping verb within the sentence. If you look at the sentence that says, my dog Rex is burying a bone. My dog Rex is burying a bone. What is the helping verb within the sentence? Or we can first identify the main verb. What is the main verb? What is the dog doing? The main verb shows the action that the dog is doing. So my dog Rex is burying a bone. So if we identify the main verb within that sentence, right? If we identify the main verb within the sentence, and then we will identify the main verb as burying. Something the dog is doing. He's burying a bone. So burying, this is our main verb. And if we identify the helping verb, right, within that sentence, then we can say is the helping verb. So my dog Rex is burying a bone. Yes, so is the helping verb. Is the helping verb. And bring is the main verb. All right. Okay, let's try another sentence. It says, you are reminding me of your great aunt Laura right now. You are reminding me of your great aunt Laura right now. Can we identify the main verb within the sentence? The main verb within the sentence. All right, so if we identify the main verb within that sentence, then we are going to say the main verb, no, the main verb, the something that the person is doing, then it is reminding. So reminding is our main verb. And the word are is our helping verb. So this is our helping verb. Oopsie, I wrote reminding wrong. So the helping verb is are, right? So don't worry, the helping verb is are, as long as you either got the main verb or the helping verb, that is correct. So are is our helping verb, and the main verb is reminding, right? Let's do another example. Another example. The acrobats have performed here already. The acrobats have performed here already. What is the main verb that shows the action that is taking place? What did the acrobats do? So the acrobats have performed here already. So we need to identify the main verb, something that the acrobats did. So what did the acrobats do? This is now the main verb that we will be identifying. All right, so if we identify the main verb within that sentence, then it will be performed, right? So that is something that the acrobats are doing, right? Performed. And this is our main verb, right? And the main verb, it shows us the action that the acrobats did. And if we identify the helping verb, what is our helping verb within the sentence? The helping verb. So if the main verb is performed, and then what is the helping verb within that sentence? All right, so if we identify the helping verb, then it will be have. So the acrobats have performed here already, and this is the helping verb. right? So there we have selected the main verb as well as the helping verb. Remember, we are trying to just help each other along the way, right? That is why we have the tutorial lessons. It's to encourage and to help and assist one another, right? So let us continue. All right, so now we're going on to our test, right? Where we will identify main verbs as well as the helping verbs within our test. All right, it's fine. Let's focus on the test. We need to select the main verb. We need to select the main verb in the sentence. Nate's grades have improved this year. So Nate's grades have improved this year. We need to select the main verb. Is it grades or is it improved? So is it grades or is it improved? We need to select the main verb within that sentence. All right, so if we select the main verb within the sentence, then we will select improved, right? Because what happened to Nate's grades? It has improved. So improved is our main verb. So well done. All right, so now let's go to our next one. We now need to identify the helping verb. The helping verb. So let's identify the helping verb. I am collecting the money. The helping verb that helps the main verb to show action. Is it am or is it collecting? Am or collecting. All right, so if we select am, which is a helping verb that helps the main verb collecting to show the action, and that is correct. So well done, all of you. Now we need to select the main verb. This is now the main verb. The light was fading fast. The light was fading fast. What was happening? What is the action that took place over here? Is it fading or was? We need to select the main verb within the sentence. The light was fading fast. Is it fading or was? So if we select the main verb within the sentence, then we will select fading. So it's something that the light is doing. It's fading fast. So well done, all of you. Well done. Now we need to select the helping verb. The helping verb that helps the main verb to show the action. They are comforting me. So they are comforting me. Is it are or is it me? They are comforting me. So is it are or is it me? All right, so if we select the helping verb, then are is our helping verb that helps the main verb to show action. So well done. All right, the fireworks were exploding overhead. The fireworks were exploding overhead. We need to select the main verb within the sentence. Is it were or or is it exploding? Were or exploding? All right, so if we select the main verb within the sentence, then we will select exploding. Yes, because what happened to the fireworks? They were exploding overhead. Exploding. Remember, it is the main verb that we are selecting. The main verb. So exploding is correct. So well done. Well done. Yes, exploding. So well done. All right. So this is now the end of our the the tutorial on A plus students, right? So now we're going to go to A plus classes.ca. So we're going to A plus classes.ca. Once we are by A plus classes.ca, we're going to learning material. Then we're going to grades, right? And we go grade 4. Then we're going to go to what would you like to do? We're going to do language arts. And then here we have 3 workbooks, right? We'll go to the second workbook, which is the grammar practice workbook. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to page 77. So we're going to scroll down up until we get to page 77. And here they're saying that the main verb in a sentence shows what the subject does or is doing, right? And the helping verb, it shows us what the main verb or action is doing. It's helping the main verb to show the action. So now if we look at the first sentence, right? We are now going to select the helping verb as well as the main verb within the sentence. So number 1 says Gidget always has how Gidget always has liked to help others. So Gidget has always liked to help others. What is actually let us identify the helping verb within the sentence. Only the helping verb. What is the helping verb within the sentence? Number 1. Gidget always has liked to help others. We need to identify the helping verb within the sentence. All right, so if we select our helping verb, then it will be has, right? Let's just do one more, and then we are done with our class. Next year, she will volunteer at the homeless shelter. Right? Can you identify the main verb within that sentence? The main verb. What is the main verb by number 2? Next year, she will volunteer at the homeless shelter. All right, so if we select the main verb, then it is volunteer. And if we select the helping verb, then it will be will volunteer, right? All right. So that is basically our let's say an extra activity that we basically attempted now, and this is on A plus classes.ca under language arts, right? And we're on page 77 in the language grammar book, right? So what you can do is you can, within your own time now, once the lesson is done, or maybe during the course of the day, then you can just identify the helping verbs as well as the main verbs on this page in the grammar page, page 77 on a plus classes.ca. All right. So now this is the end of our lesson, grade fours. Thank you very much for joining the class. We identified main verbs, which shows the action, and we identified the helping verbs, right, which is the words that comes before the main verb to basically help the main verb to show the action that takes place, right? And we said that with the helping verbs sometimes shows us the action that takes place either in the past tense, future tense, or in the present tense. So thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you very much for being interactive. And thank you very much for also helping one another in this class. I think that is most important. So have an amazing day further. Goodbye.